gospel, light of the temple. Sword swing, killer live from the ghetto. The hood messenger, let them know hell's close. Black burial, the devil in a black cloak.
Yo, what is up? Welcome to the Street Gospel Podcast. I'm your host, Dave One, and this is episode number, yo, Camo, what episode is this?
127.
127. Yo, if you haven't checked out the last episode, 120, is it 120? Really? Yeah. So Sal was 126? Yeah. Dang. Check out Sal Di Stefano on episode 126. Definitely a good podcast. I mean, Sal has a great podcast himself, the Mind Pump Podcast. You got to go check it out. We appreciate you guys, though. If you can, go subscribe wherever you're following us at, Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts. But most importantly, go ahead and subscribe on YouTube. I mean, that's the spot where we want you to go to. And if you like this podcast, please share it with your friends. I know you might not like every single episode, but if you really like an episode, send it to somebody. We would appreciate it. But, yo, today we have a guest, man. And this guy, I think we met on the gram, and he was following me on the gram. So I followed him back on the podcast. Like what he's doing. We started chatting it up on the phone, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to invite this guy to the podcast. He is a believer. He is a husband, a father, a grandfather, a pastor, an evangelist. He does it all, man. And he's cool because he's wearing shades today. Ooh. So I want to welcome to the Street Gospel Podcast.
Hey, thank you.
Jesse Sanchez.
Right on, man. Thank you so much for this.
What's up, brother?
You know, right here. Got to put on the looks for the summer came in too soon, man.
Well, it's always summer in Desert Hot Springs, though.
Desert Hot Springs, all that area in the Coachella Valley, summers, even winter.
Yeah.
I don't think we had a winter.
No.
No,
I think the last 3 winters, I probably haven't worn my coat. And I got some fly coats, man. Yeah. I got like my Raider jacket, the OG starter Raider jacket. I don't get to wear it. I got a nice Carhartt jacket for work. Never wear it. I think I got a LA Dodger jacket. I haven't even wore it. So
that's the time to that's the time to shine in those moments, you know.
I'm ready to wear it. I can't even wear it. So I mean, it's hoodie season. That's it.
Beanies we couldn't wear.
No beanies, no gloves. We don't need, you know.
Yeah, man,
it don't even rain
stuff,
hardly.
Yeah.
You know, so we kind of, you know, I don't know what's gonna happen, bro. But all this week's supposed to be hot.
Yeah, I know.
How hot does it get in the hot springs over there?
When it comes to summertime, it'd be like 120 or something.
120?
Yeah.
120?
Yes. Yeah, that's hot already, man. I mean, that's super hot.
So you're not outreaching at 120, are you?
No way.
I mean, it's a good tool, though, because you can be like, hey, you know what? You think it's hot now.
Yeah.
It's hotter than hell.
Hotter than hell, you know. There's a hot springs, India. We're right next to hell right now, and you can feel the heat, brothers. You know, we used to do
pull my hair closer.
We used to do
perfect.
We used to do evangelism in apartment complexes.
Okay.
During the summertime, and so we would do like water balloons for the kids.
Nice.
Do games, and things of that nature.
Right.
But I mean, we stopped, man. After our heads are boiling, everything's we're like, see. Well, we'll win some souls here and there in the AC.
Right.
I never been, but it's just,
I mean, that's a great advertisement, right?
Yeah.
If you have a church that has an AC, then that's a great bait tool to reel them in, because you can be like, hey, man, I know you're hot in your house right now, but if you come to our church, it's cool inside the sanctuary.
You come on Tuesday at 7 o'clock service, you'll have some nice AC for
I assume people come for that, right?
Do. I'm pretty sure they do.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
It's fine.
Come and, cool out and hear some word.
Yeah.
After that, and we serve food afterwards, so I'm sure they come for that. Like Jesus
right.
said, you follow me, but only because I'm feeding you some food,
Yeah.
And but yeah, some people they'll come to church for all kinds of various reasons, right? But yeah, man, it gets hot.
And you and your wife been pastoring out there for a long time, right?
So my wife and I, my wife Allie, she and I have been pastoring in the Coachella Valley for about, I want to say about
I know she's
over
there like, come on.
Say like this.
I know. She's like, I know how long.
We've been married 30 years. We've been married 30 years.
Okay.
Okay. And
Congratulations.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. But it's on God, I'll tell you that.
Right.
But I just got us, my it's like they gave me this award for pastoring for 25 years.
It's from the city or
from our
fellowship?
Foursquare Fellowship,
Okay.
yeah. But I was pastoring like 3 years before that.
Okay.
So before I went under an umbrella, an organization, so that has to be maybe like so if it's 25,
28 years,
yeah, somewhere around there.
I mean, gee, that's a long time to pastor,
Yes.
man. I could probably say that's a lot of ups and downs, right? Pastoring, a lot of good wins and a lot of losses. I mean, people hurt you, people come and go. I would assume, especially in the desert, right?
Yeah.
People come thinking they're gonna get a cheap, affordable housing or house.
Yeah.
And then they realize that they can't hang in the desert.
No.
And they leave, right? So
Right.
you probably get like a lot of people that are there for a season.
Yes, the Coachella Valley is very unique people there because people come, some they come for vacation.
Right.
They come and go. Then those are the ones that come and they're the older folk. They retire.
Right.
They don't want to go to church and they don't want to go anywhere. They just want to stop and stay in the house.
That's it.
And then we got the workers, the ones they're raised there,
Yeah.
that have grown up in the Coachella Valley, and those that have put in a lot of work. Gardeners, there's a lot of gardeners, pools, people,
Pools, yeah.
there's a lot of work, and so it's always growing. Indio, where I have the church at, our campus, our main church, is the fastest growing city right now.
Really?
And so it's in the Coachella Valley. So they're just producing,
Homes
and all that. So there's families coming, and you're right. There's the low income where that's how I grew up in a low income housing unit. That's how I ended up in Desert Hot Springs, and so they come for that. But if they can't, hang with the heat, yeah, they're gone.
Yeah.
But it's everyone's trying to, especially times like right now in California, it's so hard to work. Get some good work, and it's hard to make good money.
To afford a place, right? Yeah.
Now families are living together more than ever, and
kids are staying longer.
Yeah, kids are. Yeah. Hey, what's up, sorry, son, to put you on blast. No, my family.
Jesus' name.
Amen. No, my grandbabies and all that. We all live in the same place too. My son has a casita he built at my house.
Nice.
Yeah, so.
Heck yeah, that's a ticket right there.
Yeah, it's cool, but he didn't know he was gonna have 3 kids all of a sudden. Quick, like pop. Like, hey, you didn't think about that during COVID.
Yeah.
He got married during COVID.
They didn't have no TV or what?
No TV. And he didn't have no internet because I wasn't gonna pay for it. But yeah, but that's pastoring was a challenge for me.
Why did you want to pastor though?
Well, I didn't.
I mean, you didn't want to pastor.
I didn't.
Because I talk to guys and I'm like, man, bro, that's taking on a lot.
No, yeah, because you got this is the thing, when I got saved when I was locked up in the juvenile system, and where I got saved was in Chino in a placement for boys placement, and I just turned 18. So when I got saved, and I gave my life to the Lord, and Chaplain Morales led me to the Lord. He taught me about the Word, taught me about Bible reading and all that, prayer, but jumping forward real quick, when I got out of doing my time and I went to a sober living home for I just wanted, not that I was high or anything, I wasn't doing drugs no more. I just want to know more about God. Just want to learn about the Lord. I just want to know about Jesus. Period. So that door opened up. But I was there for like 3-6 months, and then I went back to the desert. And so my wife, where back then she was my girlfriend, we've been together for forever. Like I said, we've been married 30 years, but we've known each other since we were in elementary.
Wow.
So we've always her brother's my best friend, and how we met is just funny, but her brother's my best friend, and so we've been around our lives forever, But like I said, when we did, when I going back to when I got out of doing time and I was saved and all that, we got married. We said, let's get married, and so we got married young. I was 19, she was 18. And so we were just in love. We wanted to do God's will, and for me, God's will in my mind was go to church, find a good church, so go and pay my tithes and help out the pastor there, and work. And I used to work at a body shop for working on cars, and
Nice.
so I wanted to learn how to paint and paint lowriders, and that was something I was looking forward to doing. Like, I'm gonna be the guy, man. They're gonna come to me, and I'm gonna paint the lowriders. Yeah, I'm gonna be the man. They're gonna look for me, but it didn't work out that way because the Holy Spirit was dealing with me in the sense of you got saved, but I remember what I told God: if you're for reals, it changed my life. If you're the God that everyone talks about, the God that changes lives, then you changed my life.
And you meant that.
And I meant it.
Because a lot of people make that promise,
it.
right? When they're in trouble.
When they're in trouble.
They say, oh, God, get me out of this. And then, boom.
Yes. When they're in trouble, people just always pray,
Yeah.
And I meant it. And so when I got up from my knees, my whole life has changed.
Wow.
Everything was different. I would tell people the sky is blue. It was always been blue, but I seen it's like, what happened here? The grass is green. The birds are singing.
It's like the Wizard of Oz.
Everything, man. I was once blind, now I see.
She
It's what
opens
it
the door.
is. Yeah, it's just like, whoa, it's like a big acid trip. And I don't know if people know what that is, but if you do that drug, things like lighten up.
Right.
That's what happened in my life. Things lighten up. I seen everything was just different. And I think that relationship that I had with God was intense to a point that, he was dealing with me, and he I can remember this one time he was telling me, he said, I want you to start a Bible study. Sensing the Lord telling me, just do Bible study.
Were you skilled in the Word yet or anything like that? He just telling you to do the Bible study.
One thing that I knew was what I was taught.
Yeah.
By the chaplain, and what I was taught in the sober living home for a few months was prayer, study the Word,
right,
and have a good place to go and fellowship with people. That's all I knew. Like I didn't finish school. I didn't graduate high school. I didn't know how to read, didn't know how to write. I was, the way I talked was Spanglish. So it was all, my life was not directed to become a pastor. That's not what I wanted to be. But when the Lord has something for you, you're gonna do it. Because now that we're talking, when I was in the Chino placement, I remember opening the Word, and I asked the Lord, what do you want me to do? I mean, I know other men and people have plans for me, but what do you want me to do? And when I opened the Word up, and I know because I was a baby Christian, I opened it up, it went straight to Jeremiah 29:11. And we know that's a beautiful
plans I have for you.
For I know the thoughts, and I was reading, that I have for you, says the Lord. Thoughts of peace, not of evil, to give you a future and a hope. And I was like, and then it was an alignment. It just lit up. And I was like, whoa, man. He goes, I know the thoughts that I have for you, Jesse. And they're not evil.
Right.
And they're good. And I have a future for you. And I have hope for you. But you got to see this. And that's where I clinged on to that verse. That was it.
Not knowing, though.
Not knowing.
Not knowing it was going to be pastor.
He just said, just believe. And when I seen that verse, like, okay, God, I'm going to trust you.
Wow.
And from that, I just started, like, following him. Whatever I had to do, I did. That was, when I got out, I went to like I said, the home, or I was going to church, just staying in the right track. Wasn't perfect, and it was hard because I didn't have nobody really to direct me. Even when I got out, like the chaplain was going to come and hold my hand, He taught me, this is what you got to do to make it. Go for it.
Dang.
And that's where it was all like, I'm not going to say it was self-taught because it was taught by the Holy Spirit.
Right.
But I leaned in to learn, and I would force myself to read. You got to force yourself to pray. You got to force yourself to be on fire, man, to stay alive.
Definitely unconventional, right?
Yeah.
You get a lot of guys that, I've heard both.
Yeah.
Like I've heard guys that go to Bible school and they become pastors, and then I've heard guys just like yourself, God's called them.
Yeah.
But I've never. I mean, I think it was pretty unique because you weren't really underneath the ministry or anything like that.
Oh.
Kind of just opened up your home.
Yes. So I was when we got married, my wife and I were going to this little tiny church, had like 10 people in it, and he was a Caucasian pastor, you know, he's a white pastor, very well, like word of faith and kind of like that look with the suit and tie and all that, you know. Well, he had a little mirror. Trip on this, he had a little mirror in his pulpit. And before he would go up there, he would look and see if he had any nose hairs coming out. Like, now Trip on, so look at Ali, look what this guy's doing, man.
You got one now?
No, I don't, you know.
Does he? I can see you,
I
bro.
just go like this, you know.
Yeah,
No, you know, I do it before I get up in the pulpit, man. You know, and then if I have a mirror down there, they're gonna think something else.
Oh yeah,
help us, you know.
Yeah,
yo soy
bro.
Latino, man.
You got to deliver from that, bro.
Yeah, you know, later with that. Why is the pastor have a mirror in his pulpit like
Who
that?
knows?
Yeah, forget that. But we were looking, you know, we were at a little church. We were just serving God in some little tiny church there. And when the Lord spoke to me to start Bible study in the city of Cathedral City, I told the pastor, you know, God's calling me to do a Bible study. God's calling me to open up like a Bible study for everybody. And he goes, okay, you know. And so go for it. And that's what I started doing. But he, you know, it's not like he.
They didn't ordain you or anything. They're just like, just go ahead and open
well,
up.
I'm going to tell you what happened. I ended up ordaining him.
That's crazy.
It's a trip, yeah, because and I'll go back to that. When I started the Bible study, I started at a house in Cathedral City. A friend that I worked with at that time, he was a friend at that time, you know, he opened his home. He said, you can do it here, Pastor. I mean, you can do it here, Jesse. And I said, okay. And so we started there. I wanted to do it in the city I was in, Desert Hot Springs, but the Lord said no. He said, no, you do it in Cathedral City, which is, I'll say 15 minutes away from that.
Because you're from Desert Hot Springs.
I'm from Desert Hot Springs. Yeah. And I want to, you know, save my city.
And
all that. And, but the Lord didn't, he said no. And when I started that Bible study there, you know, people started coming. They got wind that I was having a Bible study. Now, the reason was I remember I was one of the, if not the founder of a gang there in Desert Hot Springs called Brownstown Locals. And, you know, love them homies. I still love those homies.
So you were that was your gang.
Yeah, that was my gang.
You started that gang.
Yes, man.
Did you guys only gang bang at night?
Man,
it's so hot, bro.
We threw down.
When they say the streets are hot in Desert Hot Springs, they mean it, right?
Yeah, they mean it, right? yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah, they mean it, all right. No, man. It's
how. I mean, okay. So for people that don't know, there is conflicts over there, right? There is rival gangs in that area.
Yeah, the whole Coachella Valley has gangs.
Are they
gangs.
A lot of gangs get formed in like Inland Empire, way east Riverside, because people from LA or maybe Orange County move out there and then they bring their gang with them. Do they have like gangs that were actually formed in that city? They're from there.
No, the only gang that was formed in Desert Hot Springs was ours, and then after our gang, our gang has to be about, the gang I was from was about 20 years old. That's, you know, so after that, another gang was formed from that, and they became rival gangs. But there was no gang except Brownstown and Desert Hot Springs. And then there was the Crips in North Palm Springs and many other. But there's older gangs in the Coachella Valley. Coachella is a very old gang, very well known, established gang. You know, Indio.
So no matter where you go, there's
Coachella
gangs.
has 52, 53. They have different cliques. They're OGs, man. Indio has the same thing, and Penn West. You know, all those. They're everywhere you go. There's gangs all over the place. Yeah.
So it's not like it's not this thing. People get the wrong idea that it's just all retirement folks.
No,
you know?
no, that's probably somewhere in some little corner in Palm Springs, you know. And Bob's whole house is up there,
there in the hills.
In the hills, but when it comes down to, you know, what the devil was running around in the streets. He's there.
And
He's there where there's lights. He's there where there's rich. He's there where the poor. I don't care but he's there, man.
So you started that gang.
Yes.
And why didn't you just join a gang that was already existing?
I'm from L.A. You see, I was born in Los Angeles. My parents moved to the desert when I was 8 years old.
Yeah, because you said you were when we talked, you were born
Park.
in Huntington Park.
Yeah, Huntington
Southeast.
Park. That's right.
That's my area.
Right.
That's my area, bro.
Rugby and Florence, I was telling you.
Oh, really?
And if I was in Mudoya, I'd have been from Florencia. All
Maybe.
those guys were all over the place.
Could have been related, bro.
Yeah, we could have been, right? It would have been. Yeah, I'm sure we would have been.
Married one of my aunts.
Straight out.
Sorry,
down the street, man. No, down the street, bro. You know what I mean? Like, dang.
Hey, but maybe you would have got saved at my church. See?
Yeah.
Never know.
Would have got saved, or who knows where I would have been, man.
Hey, God put you where He wanted you.
Yes.
So they moved to Desert Hot Springs.
Moved to the valley, and I always had.
As a kid,
I always had an LA feel, right?
Yeah.
And the reason is, I had my brothers. I had some brothers up there that lived in LA, cousins, all that family. So the LA was there, back and forth. My dad was a big Dodgers fan, all that Lakers,
Nice.
Magic Johnson, all that.
Yep.
But I say that because I have that inside of me. I already kind of, even though I was young, I knew about the gangs. It's a trip, man.
Yeah.
I was a kid, but I still knew how gangs function. Well, as I grew up in the valley, and I was around a lot of different gangs, I just didn't gravitate to them. Knew them, but I didn't gravitate to them until I got to about, I would say about 12, 13 years old. I started seeing, okay, I want to become a gang member, but not a gang member from that gang or that gang or that gang. And I had a reason why I did what I did, and whether it be demonic, in my mind that was something that the devil wanted to do, or whatever it was. It's because I always thought that La Raza, Brownstown, the people of Brown, we need to be together and not fight one another. And I would see that there was always fighting one another and me. So we were in the 90s. Remember the 90s? It was the Mexicans and the blacks. So that's where I grew up in that era where I'm gonna go against the blacks, and we're gonna win. And I would see the Browns fighting each other, and I said that's not how we're gonna win, man. And so that thought came into my mind.
How old were you when you started
13,
13 years old.
13, 14
You just
years
got
old.
your neighborhood friends?
13, 14, yes. My best friend, my wife's brother, my other friend, his name is James, rest in peace, and another friend named Johnny. Us three, we just got together, man. I have pictures of us three, and we said, well, we're gonna call it. And I had another friend that was Filipino, and he told me Brownstown. He came with that. What do you think about Browns, bro? I said, Browns. And I thought that was cool. And I seen this wall, and we're going to call it the Brownstone. But we ended up calling it Brownstown. And that's where it came from. We just started Brownstown. We beat each other up. We actually, we did exactly what we were supposed to do. We fought each other. We jumped each other in. And then we started okay, what's next? In my mind, 13, 14 years old, I bumped into a youngster I say youngster because he was from YA. He came out of YA, and he was from Long Beach, and he taught me a lot of what I know about the streets. He schooled me a lot, and so it was always more of a leadership thing for me, lead, recruit.
Kind of what you're doing now.
Yeah, lead, recruit, find out, who's being bullied, and help that kid. There's strategies to this,
right?
And even being as young as the way I'm talking, that's the way I thought. I don't know how that came, but that was wisdom from beneath, man. It wasn't wisdom from above,
right? When did the streets stop being fun? Because initially it's a good thing. You said you want to help people, you want to do things, you want to get together with your friends and kind of form your own thing. But there gets to a point when you're in a gang or where maybe it gets a little bit more serious than you maybe anticipated.
Well, you know what? I had this. I loved violence. Violence was my thing. I wasn't a drug addict. I wasn't out there chasing the dope. I was chasing my enemies. You know, that's what I was known for. I was out there to put in work, make a name for our gang because it was a young gang. That's what I wanted to do. It was fun still when I was young, and then I got locked up at the age of 16, 16 years old for attempted murder, assault with a deadly weapon, and bodily harm to another person.
A rival?
Yeah, we got in it. There was a gang fight in front of McDonald's in Desert Springs, the shopping center. I see one of my rival gang members and my brother-in-law and I. We ran out there and it's a long story, but we went out there and started throwing down, and my knife was we had a knife fight, and I got the guy stuck him in the stomach, and turned around and chased the other guy. And so it was like that, and I had no love, man. I didn't care.
No remorse, no nothing.
That's what I was doing, and that was a intense fight, and that's where kind of my life started. Where how far are you gonna take this? Because of that incident, I got locked up, and I remember being in a security unit, and the public defenders told me, Mr. Sanchez, you're gonna sit here and wait, because they're waiting to see if that young man's gonna die. He was, and
so they were just waiting for you to
see if he was gonna die,
so
and then I'll get.
Then you get the charge.
Yeah, I'll get the 187 charge, which even in that, I remember that being spoken to me. I have no feelings.
Nothing. So you were ready to.
Yeah, I was like,
take the consequence,
bro. Whatever. I don't know if he dies. I didn't get it. Like whatever. Well, he didn't, so they dropped charges. So it was more of the assault with a deadly weapon. Being locked up in the juvenile system and then going to placement, then AWOLing, taking off, went to Mexico, and you shouldn't have done that because the crime that I did was a felony. It was a hard crime. The judge told me if you leave this placement, you're going to YA for 5 years. But I left. I did leave the placement. I was in some of these youngsters will remember Twin Pines Ranch, and up way up there by the Banning area, way up there in the mountains, and I escaped. And that took me 6 hours to come down that mountain, bro. By Cabazon.
You didn't have a game plan.
No, well, I
get away.
Yeah, it was a trip because when I was up there, there's one guy, they call him Chief. He escaped before. And I heard about it, and I wanted to leave. And I hit him up, and I told him, hey, man, you know how to get down? He goes, I do. He was an Indian from, Soboba Indian. He was Soboba. He's from out there. He knew. This guy looked like a bear, man. And yeah, big old dude. So these guys know their trails, and I thought just because he was an Indian, he knew how to get down, But I convinced him to leave again. I told him, look, man, if you leave, we can go to my neighborhood. I'll take care of you, find you a few chicks here and there, and we'll have a party. We'll smoke weed, with the lines, whatever, man. Well, it seemed good to him. He goes, well, let's go then. So 6 of us left.
Wow.
Yeah, we went down and we made it, but it took us 6 hours. And I remember 6 hours because I remember the time we left was during med call. And when they're calling meds, that's when all the staff they were out in the corner, and we booked it, and took off. But we didn't know it was going to be like that. When the sun came up, we were looking at the mountain like, man, we came down from that.
Whoa.
Yeah, we were right there by where the Cabazon outlets are at.
They didn't have nobody looking for you guys?
Yeah, they did. But it wasn't like that, helicopter. It wasn't all that.
It wasn't the fugitive.
Nah, it wasn't that crazy, and I wasn't that important. It was just some young gangsters. They ain't getting their minds together. They just want to party, want to do things,
right.
Disobey. And that's, when I left placement, and I was in Mexico, And she was mad. My girlfriend at that time, that's my wife, Allie, man, she was mad. Like, why'd you do that? I came to see you, babe. You know, all these lines. I ended up in front of her house, and she was freaking out. Like, what are you doing? Before cell phones, before text, you know.
Right.
We didn't have
Just
none
popped
of that.
up.
Just popped up. Like, hey, here I am, AI, right here in the house. So I'm right here in front of you. But, you know, she just like, you're crazy.
And you went to Mexico?
I went to Mexico because they did raid my house.
Who'd you have there?
My tias, my
Stayed over
grandma. Yeah, they all, you know, they all have a pad over there. And so I knew they were going to look for me because number one, I was a gang founder. They knew me. Things were popping up. It was heated in those times.
Yeah.
You know, it was on. It was fun. I'm not going to say whether it was fun. It was exciting. You know, you're just going, man, for it, you know. And
Right.
those were those times. And I knew they were going to come looking for me. So they did. They raided my mom's pad, of course, you know, and I wasn't there. They raided my tio's pad in Borrego Springs. I guess I was somewhat important, but it wasn't all that. You know, they were looking for me. My tio was like, ¿Dónde estás, carajo? You know, and like, what do you mean? How did you know I left? So they were putting everything together where I can go, yeah. And then I was in Mexicali. I stayed there for quite a while. I stayed like 2 months or something like that, 3 months. It's a while for me, for a young man. And Chief was with me, the Indian.
In Mexico?
Yeah, he went with me. He went to Mexico with me.
Wow.
He stayed with me and my dad had a heart attack. And he didn't die, but he had a heart attack. And I got wind of it, and I called the house, and they were telling me, hey, Dad's had a heart attack. So my dad ended up getting a hold of me from the hospital.
Wow.
And he says, hey, mijo, te tienes que entregar. You have to turn yourself in. You're stressing me out. These guys keep coming to my house. They keep asking about you. They keep coming and bugging. It's just a lot on me.
Did you feel that his heart attack was
because of me?
Because of you?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. And I did. And I believe it. You know, it was. I put a lot of stress on my dad. I put a lot of stress on my mom, my family. You know, I was just...
Are you the oldest?
I'm the oldest, yes. The oldest. This is me and I had a little brother. You know, my dad's had his first marriage, but I wasn't involved in all that. You know, it's just me and my brother. And so I put a lot of stress on my dad. And I felt that was my fault.
Wow.
And so I told him, you know, okay, Dad. But, you know, if I turn myself in, I'm going to get locked up for 5 years. You remember what the judge said? Well, but I was scared, you know. And so
It's your fault.
Yeah, it's your fault. I called someone that I knew that used to try to talk to me, some sense into me. His name was Tony Casas. Tony Casas was San Quentin warden assistant, and he was a specialist in the Mexican mafia.
Okay.
Yeah, and if they look him up, you'll find him. Tony Casas helped Edward James Olmos with American Me, and those pictures. Well, Tony Casas, those are his pictures.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he used to show me all that. So when I was involved in the gang life as a youngster, the school would have me, when I would get in trouble, they would have me go to these gang classes, and that's how I met him.
Wow.
You know, and he would tell me, look at this. This is what you want. These spears, these pictures, and show me gruesome black and white photos of stabbings with big old... They don't got no little tranks. They got these big old spears.
Yeah.
You know, I never been to prison.
Bone crushers.
Yeah, bone crushers and everything they taught. These big old things, man. And I was like, wow, that is cool. It was messing me up. You know, to me, it was exciting.
Wow.
You know, I was like, wow, it wasn't scaring me at all. I was actually looking forward to it. And who's that? And that's this guy, and that's that guy. Well, Tony Casas, I called him, and I told him, hey, do me a favor, man, because I don't want the cops. What I don't want is for them to kill me when they see me, or beat me down or do something and then lie, because they'll take advantage of you when you turn yourself in. I called him and I told him, hey, can you help me? Can you help me go in? You turn me in. I don't want no one picking me up. I want you to take me.
Yeah.
And he said, meet me at your house at 6 in the morning. And so we made a time, date. I came home early and I met him at 6 in the morning. He took me back to the juvenile.
Wow.
and I got locked up. In the process, I ever began. I'm saying this because during that time, gangbanging didn't get old. All that was still exciting, but there was these issues in my life. I was going through things. My dad was having a heart attack. My brother was somehow getting involved in what I was doing now, and I was the role model, and people were looking up to me. So a lot of responsibilities as a young man were coming to me, man. Starting a gang. I didn't know it was gonna be successful. You know what I mean? We were just some knuckleheads wanting to bring our people together, and that didn't work out. We ended up still fighting other people, other of our race, same race. That didn't work out, and so it's just all lies.
It sounds like you had parents that cared.
Oh,
When you hear a lot of people that join gangs or start a gang, it's a broken home or drugs or it's influence. But it seems like you kind of you had a home, you had parents that seemed like they love you and cared for you. What was it that made you just say, yeah, I want to get into this violence. I want to start this gang. I want to do something because I'm trying to figure out the appeal or the reasoning, right?
Yeah.
Everybody always comes in the podcast and they're like, well, I did it because, my dad beat me, or I did it because we were getting jumped every day. But what was that appeal really that made you go, okay?
When I believe that all that comes from the environment you're raised in. So when my parents moved to the desert, we came from a simple house in Huntington Park to a one room, one bath, connected to this house that belonged to my dad's compadre. And it was shabby, man. Dirt poor. Mice, roaches, like everything was a mess, man. It was not cool to live the way I lived. And so in my mind as a kid, it was like, what happened? There's that little seed that was planted in my heart that I started being resentful. So when I see my parents go to church, they were good. I'm like, yeah, you're right. My dad and my mom were good parents, but they were too old to keep an eye on me to understand my feelings or what I was going through at that moment. To them it was, some Mexicanos will live through it, will make it, as he's applying for, the program to get a house, low income housing unit in Desert Hot Springs, and so we're living in that little shack for years, man. I lived like that a long time.
So a little bit of,
and I never had friends over. Because I was embarrassed. I had no girlfriend because I was embarrassed. I didn't even want to be there. This triggered me. I remember one time when my mom I seen her giving to the church. And I told my mom, why are you giving to the church? We don't even got nothing. And I was arguing with my mom. I said, you try to give me milk as that fake milk from the Catholic Church. You put water and then you try to think that it's not, and you put it in a gallon to top it off, Mom, and it's fake. And you try to make me like pretend it's real milk, and it's not. I don't want this milk. And I started getting mad and just mean. I was being real mean to my parents, cussing them out. And I told my mom one time, I said, Mom, F you and F God. F God. F you too.
So being poor.
Yeah. Being poor just caused a lot of that resentment in me, man. Because I seen like, if this is and then to top it off, I was blaming God. Like, well, God, if I told my mom, God's real, then how come we live like this?
So your parents had a sense of God, and you're blaming the parents, and then you're blaming God also. Wow.
Yeah, I'm blaming God. Like, they serve you, but look at how you got us.
I think that's I'm not saying
that's how
it's okay, but I'm saying like I can see how a kid could make that valid in his life.
Yeah, right.
Hey, we're poor. Look at this,
man.
And your parents are trying. Say God is everything, probably.
Yeah.
And then you're like, how is He everything if we got nothing?
Yeah, we ain't got nothing.
Wow.
Show me, And then, I'm glad that I'm glad I'm over this, man. But I would, when I was when my parents would go to church, in that kind of environment, I was already dressing like a little homie, wearing the hairnet, just getting the characterisms of gang life. Wasn't for no gang. They haven't thought it was because I was still like morrito, but what I seen around my environment, the next door neighbors, the parties, the girls, the way they dressed, whatever was around me, that's what I was imitating. That's what I was
Did people around you have what it seemed like more than you?
They did. And I wasn't a thief, like a big time thief, but if I had the chance to steal something that I liked, then I probably would do it, because I started going to, I only broke in a few houses before, I wasn't into that too much, but when I did, man, like, oh, look at, they have this and they have that, so I wouldn't spend too much time in my house. I wanted to go out.
Yeah.
My dad used to take me, man, to behind us a grocery store called Lucky's. You remember Lucky's?
Yeah.
He says there was a grocery store called Lucky's back then, and this big old garbage, bin, huge. My dad would tell me, go in there, man, and get some food for us. So it was me and my jefito, and I was like, man, I'm looking around. I was a skinny little kid, I was looking around to make sure that no one was watching me. So I go in there. Yeah, abajo. What's down there? Hay lechuga. Tráelo pa acá. Bring the lettuce, any kind of vegetables that they don't do that now. But back then they would throw the food.
Oh yeah.
The bread. Sometimes I'll find expired cigarettes, marbles, and my dad would have me hustle and sell them.
Wow.
And we'd do it for gas money, and he'd give me a few bucks here and there. And so I go sell them at my van. El que fuma se los vendes. Look at the one that's smoking. That's the one you sell them to. Sell the box for this much and sell the box for that much. Yeah, Dad. I'll buy bubble gum. And I wouldn't buy, but I would see bubble gum there, boxes. And so that's the kind of life we were living. I was going in garbage cans, bro.
Yeah. That's crazy.
And you want a funny one was Eisenhower Hospital has ducks. My dad ran over a duck.
Don't tell me.
He went reverse. He goes, and all I heard was, "Ark, ark." I'm like, oh man. What happened? And my little brother's crying. He goes, he killed a duck. And my dad's like, get out. Bájate, agarra el pato y ponlo en el carro. I said, no, Dad, I'm not going to do that. Now get down and put that duck in the trunk. I'm not going to do that. My mom's, screaming at him. Mira lo que estás haciendo. Look, you're doing it in front of our kids. And he didn't. So he got down, grabbed that duck from the neck and threw it inside the trunk. I'm just watching this flopping thing just going. Closed it, went to the home and told my mom and says, cook it.
Wow.
And I remember
duck tacos.
Yeah, she's peeling it off, all the feathers, and I was like, I ain't never eating with you guys. And man, I didn't eat for I don't know how long. And I was like, nah, he ate a duck. Sorry, Eisenhower, but that's the way it goes. And and I know I was like, man, we're living, but that's how we did it.
Yeah, you can see how resentment could.
You know what I mean?
Up, you know what
it's
I mean?
Like I was like, oh man, and so that's where it started. I believe that when a child is where they're raised, the environment, they can make a big impact in their lives, and the parents ain't paying close attention to them. It can mess them up or make them better or make them worse.
Yeah.
All depending on the parents.
Right.
But my mom and dad didn't know English that good. Even
were they first generation?
No, they were born in Sonora.
Yeah, well, first generation.
Yeah.
Well, first generation coming over.
Yeah, coming over. Yeah.
So you were first generation.
I'm first generation.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm first generation, and my dad was born in Sonora, Mexico, and Nogales. My mom from Guanajuato, but she was raised in Mexicali. So that's where my parents are from.
Mexico. Different culture.
Different culture.
Right.
Big time. Different mindset.
Yeah.
You're
already the American mindset.
Nah, yeah. And like I say, even when I was when they would go to church, the pastor there, one time because I was out there, I was always messing around too much, man. And in front of the whole church says, something happened, some kid made a noise, and the pastor said, you know what? a ti ni Dios te puede cambiar. And not even God can save you. And when he said that, I got up from the church. I said, forget you, man. F you, man. And I got up, my dad, and the whole congregation like, ay, va el Jesse otra vez, travieso. Yeah. And walked out. Check this out. Walked out. I remember I was mad. And the ushers surrounded me and started praying for me. And then I when they were done praying, I said, you guys done? They go, yeah. Because I still got that devil in me, man. That's how crazy I was, like, rebellion. It was in my heart, so it really got to me being poor. Everyone having more, we didn't have nothing. I always wear the same Levi's, same Pendleton. Had a fake Los Angeles Kings hat, like it wasn't a real deal. So everything was like, I had fake Cortezes.
Fake Cortezes.
Fake Nike Cortez from the swap meet.
They melt when you
Yeah,
hit
man.
the
They
pavement
definitely
there?
melted in our place, They definitely melted in the valley. And so everything was fake. So to me, everything was fake in life.
Wow.
We just got to do what we got to do.
Yeah, I can see how you can become, like you said, have resentment and be bitter and kind of just rebel against life. I mean, if you don't have nothing, it's hard. It's hard if you grew up with things to realize that.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you grew up with nothing, then you realize, like, yeah, we have nothing. So you have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's true, man. They have nothing to lose. So, growing up like that in poverty, really, there was a big part of how it shaped me.
So you get saved. So you went from
Saved.
how long after this rebellion and everything and bitterness, resentment did it take for you to finally come to the Lord?
Well, I got saved when I was 18.
So you had a good little teenage year.
I had a great one, man.
Right.
A crazy one, I mean, it was.
You had a teenage run of just running amok a little bit. What changed for you that made you say, I need a savior?
Yeah. Well, it's like I was always wondering if you're for reals. I go back to that. Like, I don't remember the preaching. When I was locked up, the chaplain Morales, he took us to his church. He got permission to take two young men out of the facility to church. And so he got permission to take me and another guy. I don't remember the preaching. I remember the pull. Like there was something pulling me to the altar. Like something was drawing me, like, try it. So when I did go up and I knelt down, I said, God, if you're for reals, you changed my life. That was it. And in my mind, I was like, because if not, I'm going to die.
Were you ready to change?
There, I was, at that moment, I was ready to give it a try. Like, okay, God, if you're for reals, show up.
So you were more trying to test God?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I was. Yeah.
Let's see if you're real.
Sure was. Yeah, if you're for real, because that's what I said. If you're for reals, come into my life and change my life.
Did you think he would?
No.
Were you hoping that he wouldn't, so you would have more of an excuse to live that life?
Something deep down inside of me was hoping that he did show up. But it was a very small, of hope.
It's like a mustard seed.
Yeah. That still small voice that the Bible talks about. I'm sure that was that little small voice that was like, hey, I'm here. Just got to let me in.
So you cracked the door open a little bit.
Come in. If you're for reals, come to my life and change me. And he came and boom. And I'd never been the same since that day forward.
So you had an encounter. Boom.
Where everybody, I believe, needs an encounter with God. I don't need no religion, man.
I agree.
That's why I don't remember the preaching.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't there to hear no preacher. I was there to get out of the facility.
I would say it's the encounter that keeps you.
It's
right?
the encounter.
Like when you have an experience, or you have a little highlight, or maybe you have a good little feel good at church, but those things all fade. But when you have the encounter, it's lasting.
No, Dave, I mean, great men come out of encounters. Moses came out of an encounter when he had the fiery bush,
Yeah.
Take your shoes off, man. standing on holy ground. You know, Abraham had an encounter. He knew not where he was going. You know, God told him, go where? He followed an encounter. You know, and he built altars. Jacob had an encounter, and God spoke to him, and he got his hip out of place.
Right.
You know, Paul had an encounter in his way in Damascus Road, right?
Yeah.
And so he went blind for 3 days. Like, man, I'm intense. He said it was an intense encounter. All of them, all great men have encounters. I had an encounter, and my life has never been the same.
Wow.
Since that moment, I had my own fiery bush, my own Damascus, road. That's my own time with God. That my own, him taking the hip, taking my hip out, and hey, your walk's going to be different now, Jesse, after this wrestling. You think you're bad. Okay. You just bumped into the God right here. And so it's like, it was that encounter that I needed for someone like myself. And God showed up and says, I'll change your life. Like I recall, I was cussing all the time. From that day forward, I stopped cussing.
No more.
Nah.
Delivered. Wow.
Cussing, even if I tried, it's like it won't come. Yeah, like it's not the same,
Right.
I mean, like, because I would F this, F that. It was always something, It was an intense cussing, not like bad words. It was just real cussing. Cussing to cuss, man, and that was me, cussing, vulgar stuff, but that was gone. I had my battles though, because my main thing was smoking weed and violence. Those were my temptations.
Yeah, the harder things.
Yeah. And smoking weed, in time, I overcame all that.
Yeah.
The violence part was talking about, like, making sure I don't get mad when I was around certain men.
Right.
And then they do something I didn't like, and we go off on them, and just because I thought something, like that was something I had to work on.
It's probably like, leaders, men with a lot of pride, right? They probably do. Yeah. They battle with that.
Yeah.
You go to church, and then you're supposed to be humble and meek.
Yes. I was prideful.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in a gang and the gang life, gang leader or whatever, you think, yeah, I was this, I was that. And man, shut up, man.
Right.
Anyway, I was, that the pride.
Yeah.
Look at how we're talking all this. Why would God pick me to be a pastor? What was so special about Jesse?
Yeah. What
did you see in me, Lord, that I can't even see in myself? That I struggle to see in myself to this very day.
I mean that's crazy. That's because that's how God works, man.
Yeah.
He doesn't work the way we work.
Right.
He doesn't think the way we think, or doesn't use who we think he should use. Yeah. I mean, he always uses like somebody that nobody thinks that he's gonna use. You know what I mean? Or he rises up somebody, changes their life, and then you're like, that guy?
That's it.
And all of a sudden.
Yeah, Bible study, 22 years old. I started pastoring. It just started with the Bible study.
Did your girlfriend, or your wife now, did she jump on board right away, or was she kind of a little skeptical that you're like, I don't know about this?
Because she knew me, even during the time when I was gangbanging and all that. Before that, like, we didn't start dating till she was like 15. And how it happened was, I heard her boyfriend. She had a boyfriend and it didn't work out. So
praise God.
Yeah, praise. Hey, I'm telling you right now, praise the Lord. You know what I mean? I'm glad it didn't work out. But one of her brothers ended up asking me, "Hey, why don't you call my sister, ask her out?" I was all high, and I said, "Nah, just do it." So when I was high like that,
out for her.
Yeah,
You're all high.
Yeah, I was all high. Like,
sister.
Come on, man, try her. I'm like, man. But when I was high, I got a little more of a, I wasn't as shy.
Right.
So I did call her, and I never wanted to date her. Then, not that it was, 'cause she's beautiful and she's wonderful. It's just that she was my best friend's sister. I never looked at her like that. But, when her other brother said, "Hey, just call her, man," I did. And I asked her, "Hey, I heard you're not with your..." "Yeah, I'm not." I said, "Well, that's cool. Why don't you give me a try?" She goes, "What?"
Straight out.
Yeah.
Straight out the gate.
Give me a try. Oh, okay. Okay. And then, like, okay, I'm going to go right there. I'm gonna go see you right now. And I hung up. And she's like, what? You know, like.
Hey, Jesse, bro, she's over there shaking her head.
Yeah.
I know there's
No, she doesn't want me to tell her.
I know there's your version and there's probably her version.
Yeah, we'll wait till her podcast comes out. So your wife, there it is. I would get your wife to interview her.
Right? She's like, she'll do the real version.
Yes, we're going to interview the pastor's wife.
This is how I see it. Yeah. Jesse's though, like, this is how I see it.
Yeah, this is the way I see it.
This is the way it went down.
I went over there and in my brother's bicycle, you know, and she was outside, and she was just looking at me, and it was weird because like we knew each other, but we didn't know each other like that.
Different.
Yeah, and I said, "Come here." She was what? And give me a hug, and then she did. I just gave her a kiss right there. That was it, man.
Oh, that was it.
Yeah, that was
it, sis.
That was
just
it.
Like that.
Little kids
okay,
like that,
you
fell in love with the man. You know. You gotta live with the man. Yeah, that was
on a bike.
Yeah, on a bike. Where the other one had a car.
You took her to that McDonald's on the handlebars.
Dave, the other guy had a car, but I had a bike, and I still had mine.
You had game.
Yeah, I had game, man. That was it, man. I had the bike. They were all mad, you know. It's like, hey, it is what it is, man. So we were, she something about her that she's always kind of like stood by me. So when I got locked up, she stayed. You know, she wrote me, she spoke to me. You know, she was mad all the time, but she was there for me. You know, and we were teenagers, but we thought like adults. You know, I mean, we had, our minds were very real fast because of the way we lived. You know, and so
when you got saved, she came on board right away.
When her story was that her mom was a Christian.
Okay,
you know?
So she knew.
And her dad, she didn't have a dad. She grew up in the same low income environment, somewhat, not as poor as I did, but her dad committed suicide. As they say, you know, I think it was an accident when she was 2 years old. So she never knew her dad. My brother-in-law, they have different dads. He same thing, you know. They say he committed suicide. Wow. But we don't know. So she grew up without a father. You know, just her mom.
Yeah.
So, but they would go to church. Mom would take her to church, and I know that because they would invite me to church. You know, and at times I would go, and at times I wouldn't.
So the Lord was kind of working in the background.
As you see it now, you know, you can look back and it says God was always, His hands were always
right there,
in there. You know, doing something big was going to come out of this.
Right.
You know, and when I got saved, she was rededicating her life back to God. Also, she was excited that I got saved. You know, but everything that I chose to do within things of God, she said yes. When I went to the sober living home, she followed me.
Oh, so she's a real one.
Yeah, she's a real one, bro. She left the desert to follow me. I was in Azusa for about 3 months, 4 months, something like that. And so she followed everywhere I went. You know, when I wanted to start that Bible study, she said yes. And it's a trip. Man. One day she'll tell you the story, but she heard from God, and God told her, "Hey, you guys start a Bible study in Cathedral City, top it off in that city." And she said to God, "You gotta tell my husband, not me." You know, and so when I came home, I told her, "Babe, you know, God spoke to me. He said, we're gonna do a Bible study in Cathedral City." And she just looked at me like, "Whoa, this is all God." So God spoke to her to confirm what God was doing in me, so she wouldn't have to worry about it.
Yeah,
that it's a real call from God, man.
Yeah,
it was. She's like her Father in heaven was making sure, hey, listen, it's gonna be okay. I already spoke to him. I'm just speaking to you, just to give you the heads up what I'm going to do, and that's where. And so she's always been. She's my biggest supporter, my biggest fan, right? You know, she's the best, man. I love my wife. She's there. She does now. She does a lot. You know, she's the head person in our office, of course. But she's so smart. She wasn't into the gangs. She wasn't a homegirl. She wasn't a dope fiend. She wasn't into none of that. You know, her thing was she would get, if I say anything that she had a lot of, she'd get pride in her own way, you know. Orgullo, you know. But she was in the streets. You know, I always seen her as a hard worker. You know, going to college, trying her best to advance herself
Wow.
in the gift that she feels she
God,
has. You know?
God orchestrated that.
God did it all. You know.
Yeah.
She worked for a what is it? General contractor.
Okay.
And she would do that in the side. You know, she did that full time. But even when I started pastoring, like from the, they say I was doing a Bible study, right? It was in 3 months though we couldn't do it no more, because the city was telling us, hey, there's too many cars outside.
Wow.
You know, it's too much going on. Okay, so we found a location to have a church. You know, we said, okay, well, Ali, you know, we're gonna start a church. And that the name of our church at that time that we called it was called End Times Christian Center.
Okay.
The End Times Christian Center. It just came to me. I said, let's call it End Times. I gotta remember, I'm 22 years old, man. End Times Christian Center. And I have the VHS of my first service.
Nice.
Where we did in this living room of this house, a pulpit half made, you know, it still had had the bottle of 4x4 right there sticking out, and you know, no microphone or nothing. People coming in through the front door and sitting down, and then I'm preaching on the power of the Holy Spirit. Wow. with so skinny with the suit, man. Barely, they didn't fit me, man. It was all down here, no tailor.
Old school, when you had to wear a suit.
Old school, man, to the max. A tie, yeah, I had to wear a suit. And
see, the young people don't understand that.
They don't, you know. I was fired up. I just do this. Come on,
get on stage, man. You have to be in a suit.
Yeah, you know, they didn't understand that, you know. And she was always there. If you went from there, from the house to the storefront, and we were at the storefront for 3.5 years. And that's when I had my first baby, you know, little Jesse. You know, she was always supporting me.
Wow.
At 5 times I felt like, man, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Because, you know, being in the storefront, after that, like, we had these we had these testings that we went through in life, where sometimes no one would show up.
Yeah.
It was just my wife and I and her mom.
I don't think people realize that, right?
Man, it was scary.
It's tough. And then you have to pull out money from your own pocket to pay for the church.
Yeah.
I always tell people a story. My wife is we used to be a pastor's kid.
Yeah.
And I remember her dad, you know, they had money when we were first dating. When I first knew her, you know, I knew her since I was 10.
Okay.
So, but we got together when we were like 17.
You followed the money, man.
Well, I mean, crazy is this. My father-in-law, like he's from the neighborhood, paints cars,
okay,
and stuff, and but he had a good job because he knew how to paint. So he would paint the McDonnell Douglas, and he would paint trucks and different things like that. So they had money. So I remember when we got together, it was Christmas, and they had came from at the time they lived in Long Beach, but they grew up right there in Walnut Park, or Huntington Park, Walnut Park, right in there. And so they moved to Pomona to start a church, take over a church, but it was a really small church.
Right.
So I go over for Christmas. We're dating. Walk in the house, they have a Christmas tree. No gifts. And I'm like, I'm looking around, and I'm like, hey, you know, where's the presents? I brought a gift for her. And she goes, oh, no gifts this year. And I'm like, what happened? And the church doesn't have no money, so my dad paid for the church. He's a working pastor too. So I tripped because I was like, I always thought like if you were a pastor, you have money.
Yeah.
And then I realized, this is hard.
It's hard.
It's a tough life. And I think people make me laugh because even now being saved all these years.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the pastors, you know, they got money. And I said, you guys see these pastors on TV.
Yeah.
But the majority of churches in America are 100 people or less.
Yes.
And they barely make it.
Correct.
So you're telling me that these people want to go through all this stress, you know, worrying about next month, you know, dealing with people, all kinds of people, right?
Okay.
All kinds of problems. You help people, they burn you, they let you down.
Yeah.
You really think that's all worth it? You know, at the end of the day, I mean, in not in a spiritual sense, but in a regular sense, do you think that's really all? They're doing it because God's called them to do it, and they're led to do it, and it's because it's their calling.
Yes.
Because it's not what you think it is.
It's not. That's why it's like I didn't wake up and choose to be a pastor, and I wouldn't want to be one if I wasn't called to be one. Period. Get me out of here, because it's hard. You know, people don't see the sacrifices a pastor's family goes through. You know, like, you're right. When I was in the storefront, like I was working at the body shop. My wife, you know, she was working, but we couldn't pay bills. So we did buy a house. I was about, 23 years old when I bought my first house. But I was scared, man. Because you gotta remember, I came out of a poverty life, family. My first thing was to buy a Navigator, Lincoln Navigator. Man, my wife's like, no.
Lincoln Navigator.
But when we got married, we moved in with my parents. And so the thing is like, this the same money and get a house. But my mind, this is where my wife comes, she helped me a lot. My mind wasn't seeing that at that moment. My mind was seeing a Lincoln Navigators the homies were driving. I said, I can drive one of those. I'm a husband, I'm rolling. But I'm living in my low-income house with my dad. It's not going to look good.
Yeah.
This older man named Bert, he was a older gentleman that sold houses that I met in the little church I was attending in Desert Hot Springs. He had a house for sale. And come on, you can do this. Get a house.
Nice.
And so, we went for it. We applied. We got the house. Right now, that same house is a men's home. It's still my house. It turned into a home. Wow. It's been a home for 15 years. We've had it like that. So that's been quite time helping people.
Yeah.
But that first house helped me understand faith, because my goodness, when we first got the house and we signed the papers, I wasn't getting paid right. My checks were bouncing, man.
Oh.
I told my boss, hey, I'm about to buy a house, and your checks are bouncing. Oh, we're going to put some money. I was like, oh, man, here we go.
Whoa.
So I had to make fake check stubs so I can make sure that I get the house applied, because, the realtor, Bert, was like, come on, man, you can do this, Jesse. I'm like, man, sounds like that old man from behind Rocky. You can do this, Rock.
Mick.
Yeah, me, because like that old man Bert was like, you can do this, Jesse. I'm like, forget you, man. I'm stressing out over here.
Right.
But even though I wasn't getting paid, like I still told him, how we're gonna do this? It's not enough.
Yeah.
So now I got the storefront church. Checks are bouncing.
So you're responsible for 2 properties.
Yeah, checks are bouncing. Bills are coming. And I ain't seen nothing.
Wow.
And then my wife and I, when she got pregnant,
No Navigator.
I had a 82 Chevy Camaro.
Okay.
That her uncle gave us, and he was a heroin addict, so that was a miracle. You know what I mean? Ain't no heroin addict giving anything.
No.
He blessed us with the car. And it was cool, because it got me back and forth. I dropped her off at the Marriott. She would work at the Marriott, and then I would go to work at the body shop. Afterwards, on Wednesdays I would have Bible studies at the storefront. Then church on Sundays, and fellowship in between here and there when I get off of work. So we're doing that for a while, 3.5 years. When she got pregnant, we had to move into her mom's pad.
Wow.
Because we didn't have enough money for the lights, for electricity, for the water. The only thing we had money for was for the rent. So we said, okay, well, we'll live with your mom, and then just we'll pay for the rent. We can't live there because we don't have no running water, we have no lights, and like the church ain't bringing nothing in.
Right.
And it's bringing enough to pay for their own rent. And that's because it's coming out of our pockets. That's why we don't have enough for the house. It's like, we're just, okay, God, we're trusting you. And it was hard. You know, it was hard. And the more you get, the harder it is too. You know, we're still
Yeah.
responsible. It was hard. It's faith. People don't realize how much a pastor goes through. My kids, they went through this with me. My son, but faith always prevailed. Faith, opened doors. Faith provided a need. Not once did we ever miss the rent for the church.
Wow.
Not once. Not once. God provided, man.
Yeah.
God provided. This man that got saved at our church in the storefront. I didn't know he used to wear these shades, right? But he wore shades for a different reason. He was like, something's up with this dude. And I remember when he got saved, he would speak Spanish only. He got baptized in water, led him to the Lord. Man, God touched his life. And then he told me, Jesse, I'm going to go back to Mexico. He spoke to me in Spanish, but I'm going to say in English. I'm going back to Mexico, and I'm going to close down the clubs I have over there. So what you've done here in my life has changed my whole life. Thank you.
Wow.
And where you going? I'm going back to Sinaloa. But the cartels to me that I was thinking about that. I was like, what's? But he went over there. I didn't know that he was one of Catillo City's most wanted. He was a drug dealer. And later on, I found out, hey, that guy right there, he sold drugs and he was from this and that. I don't know. Well, before he left to Mexico, he came and he says, I got this for you. He took out an envelope and he gave it to me. I said, thank you, man. And he gave me a hug. I prayed for him. I haven't seen him to this very day. I don't know where he's at. I even forgot his name. But it was exactly enough for the rent.
Oh, wow.
So God always provided.
One way or another.
God would use drugs money. I don't care what money, but his money. And God used money. Yeah, he used it. And it paid for the rent,
Right.
So my thing was always hanging in there, believing God. Don't give up. Lord, what is it? Yeah, like pastors, why are we doing this? Wow. It was the call of God, but it was something inside of me. It's like souls need Jesus.
Right.
And the thing is that, yeah, God he chose me. And I was obedient to the call. And no matter how hard that call was, I have to be obedient to it. Because it was that or the streets.
Yeah.
And that already, by that time, I didn't want nothing to do with the streets. There's no love there. The devil don't love you.
Yeah.
But I'm going through a lot with this too, as a pastor. And seeing that the congregation never sees what the pastor goes through. No, man. They don't see what our kids go through when we're without. We don't complain. We don't say nothing.
Yeah.
When people burn us and try to take our congregation members and all that, we don't say nothing.
Are you investing to people?
Yeah,
and
we
spend
invest
time with them, love them, and then they leave.
burn us, man. It happened to me many times.
How do you get over that?
Recently,
Because I know as a young pastor, it probably was tough.
Yeah.
And as you get more seasoned, probably learn how to deal with it a little bit better,
yeah,
right?
you do. I was around a lot of older pastors, so I got to see how they dealt with things, good and bad. Recently, maybe like last year, I had an incident that we have what you call a campus. So we have our main campus in Indio, and we got another church in Desert Hot Springs. Okay, and so recently we had this, like, around COVID. He gave me the building, Foursquare, beautiful building, man. We started reaching people.
Nice.
And but I always put the best people in front, to help me. And so I put one of my best guys, was with me for 20 years, to help me with the campus. You call them campus leaders.
Yeah.
Well, a couple of years back, Pastor, God's doing great things, Pastor Jesse, campus, all this. And I'm saying this to because, I've seen splits. I've gone through things like that.
Yeah.
But this one was intense where, he
been with you forever.
He was 20 years with me. They made the wrong move. Took off and started their own thing with church members.
Ah.
So how do
Man.
So now 20 years with a person.
Yeah.
20 years, man. Let me take my glasses off. 20 years with a guy. That's a family member, man.
Mm-hmm.
They know my wife. They know my life. They know my mistakes. They know my goods. They know everything.
Right.
You're discipling a person.
Friends.
They're next to you.
Yeah.
When you disciple a person, they're next to you. You don't hide anything from them, right? You know, that's how they learn.
Yeah.
You know, you change their spiritual pampers. You help them when they're going through their divorces, their dealings, their mistakes, and all this and that. But like a kid, you know, you know now, okay, my teenage son is doing good. You give him the keys to the Corvette, and now he thinks it's his.
Yeah.
So bring that Corvette back home, buddy.
No.
I'm teaching you how to drive it. I didn't tell you it was yours.
I'm gonna keep rolling out here.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Because why? Why do they keep rolling in it? Why would they?
So you think it's theirs now?
It's theirs, but why? What is it?
Pride.
They look good in it.
Ooh. Yep.
They look good in it. And so when you look good behind that pulpit, and people are like, "Hey, you look good." Matter of fact, you look better than Pastor Jesse. Your pastor.
His hair's longer.
Hair's longer, man. Yeah, you know, you can do this. You know.
I mean, that's the enemy does,
well,
right?
That's the way he works.
Yeah.
So how does a seasoned pastor deal with that?
That's tough.
Very tough.
It's betrayal.
Betrayal to the core. Yeah, the first thing is right away, you got to forgive.
Yeah.
As much as you don't want to,
right?
You have to forgive.
Mm.
And someone like myself or pastors that have a church that's, 300 members and more, you're out there. If you've been in a community for 25 years, people know you. Like, you're out there, so you got to make the right moves. You got to do the right thing. You can't go out and fight. So you got to deal with it. Father, help me. Help me do the right things. So the Bible says, ask for wisdom, and he'll give it to you. So God, give me wisdom. Because I'm about to go crazy right now.
Yeah. It's
yeah. So you forgive, and you deal with the issue as much as you can. You try your best to fix what they did. With counselors, good people around me, and pick up the pieces and the people that got hurt. You see all this that you deal with?
Yeah.
People that got hurt, people that are confused, the old people that just, should have known better, didn't stop it. The new people don't know any better. So the pastors are like back and forth, like dealing with these kind of issues. And I'm not the only one, and that's why I talk about that. I'm glad you brought this up, because it's important. Pastors go through this. Man, they're about pastors, the high rate of suicide for pastors, man, it's high.
Yeah. It's crazy to think
it's
that.
high.
It's a lot.
You push people look at what they do. They push us, man. Mm-hmm. The devil wants to push people. They push us. They don't think about the times we were there for them. They don't think about those moments. We baptized you, married you, took care of you. We're there in the hospital for your kids.
Loved your kids.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff, right?
No, but you look good in the Corvette.
Man.
The pride.
Yeah.
The look. But all that will fade away because it's not theirs, it's not mine. It's God's.
Yeah.
But you got to remember the order of God. God's a God of order.
100%.
Yeah, and so when things are not, if they're not done in order, God, it's the order of God. So God brings things back in its order, and it hurts, but it's got it in order. And I have to always learn to align myself with that order of God.
I think hurt within the church, it hurts a little bit more.
Yeah.
My theory behind that is because I think we think, I mean, they're human. They're going to make mistakes. But we don't look at them as, like that. We look at them as Christians.
Yeah.
Sons and daughters of God. So we think they should know even more better, because they're not in the world. So because they know Jesus, supposedly, we think they should not do that. It should be off the table. We'd probably be less hurt from a non-believer because we expect it.
Oh.
Because they're not saved. Because,
Sure.
hey. But for somebody that's, when they're saved or they were saved at one time or love God, or they say they love God, we feel almost betrayed. Like it's like two times. It's like we invested in you, did all this stuff, and then didn't you get convicted when you were doing that stuff from the Lord? So then we're like hurt like even more because we're like, they should have known better because they were saved. Right. That's a tricky thing, man. To forgiveness in church, I think, for anybody.
Where's all your workbook that I gave you? Where all those discipleships that notes and everything that I taught you throughout
all the
years,
scriptures, all the teachings, like you don't, you knew it was wrong more than a non-believer. Yeah. So I think we get hurt more because it gets to the point where it's like, gee,
you should have known better. You know what? We're already.
You said you were saved.
Yeah, we're already fighting. The Bible says that we don't wrestle against flesh and blood. Principalities and powers and rulers of darkness, spiritual weakness in high places. I get that. But the devil uses people.
Yeah.
So we have to learn to be professional pastors somewhat, and like, okay, how am I going to do this, without
sinning.
Fighting this, without sinning, without hurting somebody.
Yeah.
Because hurt people.
And still setting a good example because a lot of people are watching you, right?
There you go. Being a good example. Family's watching you. My kids are watching me. Congregation's watching me. The hood's watching. Yeah. Everybody's watching because they get wind of it. Like, what are you going to do, Pastor? What are you going to do here?
Yeah.
So I have to go, what do you do then? I have to transfer what I got into winning souls.
Yeah.
Make more disciples. Like, I can't let this hold me back because it did cause a mess to a point. Now we're doing or okay, with the campus coming along. I got a good another good season campus leader that's taking the role there and doing well. Keeping the order, obeying the way she should have, and his wife, and and when I mean obeying was just make sure you obey like you obey the laws of the land, just being obedient to what you're told to do, man.
God is a God of order.
God of order. Let's win some souls. Let's make some disciples.
Yeah.
Let's get excited. Come on, let's do this for Jesus.
Yeah.
And let's not allow pride and the flashy things and all that. Get our hearts.
I think sometimes when we have those things, right, and I think it gives us a real opportunity to shine as Christians.
Yeah.
How we're going to handle that.
Yeah.
And I think when you're conscious of that, right, when you're like yourself, where you say, okay, I'm upset, this is hurtful, but I know there's people watching how I'm going to react. And when you gear it down to not only is there people that see me in the church or in the street, or know me from the ministry realm, but my own family is going to see how I react to this whole situation. So you kind of got to harness that a little bit and say, okay, what is this all about? And what am I really doing it for? And realizing, hey, here's an opportunity to do what's right.
Yeah.
In the case of wrong.
Yeah.
I had a friend, he's a pastor in San Diego for a long time. And he said one time a church was having some problems, and they had a big amount of people that left the church. I guess the pastor had some problems. They left the church, went to his church. And he was like, what the heck? Is like, hey, any pastor would take 30, 35 people, right?
Yeah.
One swoop, right?
Yeah, one swoop. Yeah.
And he said, it's not right. Something's wrong. So he got the people, talked to them. You need to go back to your church.
Yeah.
your church needs you. You can't come here. And he said inside, he was like, man, I wish they could stay. But he said the right thing to do was to say, hey, send them back. And he said he got a call from the founder of that whole fellowship. And he said that he called him and he thanked him.
That's an honor.
Yeah, there was honor, right? And it was a time for him, as much as he was hurting, maybe 35 people, giving seasoned Christians, probably we're going to give, right? Probably we're going to be a part of his church. He said, no, I just can't do that. Yeah. Sent him back. And the founder of that fellowship called him and said, hey, thank you for that. You know, he ended up the founder ended up taking over the church. But, I mean, it was pretty amazing. And I was always grateful for that, you know, that story because it showed the integrity of that guy. Yeah. You know, and I think there's an opportunity sometimes in the hurt to really shine. It is difficult. Yeah. You know, how you handle stuff.
That's the best time to shine.
Yeah. Right? It's easy to shine when things are going good.
Yeah, man. It's like it's good to shine. Yeah, God bless me. Yeah, that's good. And you can handle it. But when the dark moments come.
Right.
Oppression comes. Like, can you still shine?
Yeah.
And you'll shine even brighter in dark moments because it's dark. And then people will see like, hey, look at this guy's going forward. It's like Paul said, press towards the mark. The high calling of God in Christ Jesus. Press towards it. He's going. He's pressing through.
Yeah.
Look at this guy, you know, which will give the church more hope, a revival, and a sense of like, hey, we are here. We're alive. We're called. We can do this. We did what this man did was honorable with giving back to people, because you know that's he could have had more money and finances and all that, but see, he checked his heart, and God's gonna bless that pastor. If not, he already did. Yeah. For doing what he did. Right. You know, and sending the flock back to where they belong. That's an honorable pastor. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to take other people's church members, you know. And it's funny when you go over there and like, wait a minute, weren't those people over there at Pastor Jesse's church? You know?
I mean, there could be a plus taking people, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes you take people and they're the wrong people. They're somebody else's problem.
Yeah.
And they want to come to your church and now they're bringing all their baggage with them. And you're like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't come to my church.
Yeah, you gotta go back down the street, brother. You know what I mean? Like,
there's a reason why they've been in 4 churches the last year.
Yeah, I got their number here. Yeah, they don't see, you know, pastors won't say to church members that leave or because the way the enemy works is right away they hear something and they stop talking to the pastor. Yeah. Like, wow, you know, maybe they never even ask like what happened or how's things. This is out of experience. I know they don't do that. Yeah. The enemy keeps them away. Don't talk to them. You know, we're doing our own. You know, wait a minute. The pastor, what a pastor does, he wants to cry out and he wants to say, hey, come back. I need you guys, man.
Yeah.
You know, he wants to say to his leader, hey, come back, man. We're winning souls over here. What are you doing?
Right.
The souls are going to go to hell for the wrong moves that you're making.
Intense.
Like, yeah, these are things that want to come out, and but they don't know how to say it. You know, even at times I didn't know how to say it. I would have you got to have quick meetings and remind your leaders, okay, this happened. And remember, guys, I need you guys.
Yeah.
Stay put. Stay alert. Like Paul would tell his disciples, be alert, be ready, in season, out of season. Yeah. You know? Oh, okay. Yeah. This is a real fight, guys. Yeah. Now we're fighting for our families. Yeah. We're fighting for it. We're making sure that this keeps going because your son's going to, and your son's son, they're going to grow up in this and they're going to do this. When those things happen, people will rise up. You'll see people rise up and take it to the next level. You know?
I always say, like, you know, it's hard for a pastor to see everything.
Yeah.
And, you know, people get church hurt or people get offended because pastor didn't tell them hi.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or didn't have time for them. Maybe he just missed them.
Yeah.
You know, or maybe you miss, you know, something important. Maybe you missed something important, right?
Right,
and you didn't do it on purpose. But I think you have to give the pastor some grace, right? Yeah. Everybody wants grace. And we think that the pastor doesn't deserve any grace.
Yeah.
And you got to give the pastor a little bit of grace, and the congregants have an opportunity, right, to bestow a little bit of grace, give your pastor a little bit of mercy once in a while, and be like, hey man, like maybe he just didn't see me.
Yeah.
Maybe the pastor is going through something maybe that we don't know about, right? I mean, so instead of taking it personal all the time, hey man, why don't you take it to God
Show
first
the
and
man some love,
and let's see
man.
what happens, right? I mean, pastor's human too.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
he got things.
Show the man some love.
Yeah.
You know, 25 years of this, put it at 25 years pastoring. Man, I've made mistakes. I've learned, like, and when I say mistakes, like not crazy stuff, but I've had my own battles that I've gone through, and I've learned I just show the same grace I give to others, I would expect people to give to me, but it wasn't like that. I was like, wait a minute, I showed you love when your wife bounced with another dude. Oh man, I showed you love when you're going through it, when you backstayed, when you're going.
Yeah.
I opened the doors for you to come to my house when you needed a place to stay, or I opened the men's home up so you can make it through your court dates and all that, and get you here so you won't be in the county jail. So I mean, I showed you grace. Church, I'm showing you grace. Show me grace when I'm going through something. But
it's hard for
it's hard
being the leader, right? You can't go up to the pulpit and say,
I need grace.
I need grace, everybody. Come on, come and pray for me.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be strong because you're the leader, right? It's hard. I always think like I don't know if you ever seen that movie Saving Private Ryan.
Yes, I have.
So so there's the captain, right? And the captain is he has a little shaking with his hand.
Mm.
He misses his wife.
Right.
He's been through all these battles, but he's going through all this stuff internally. He knows that it's probably not the best mission to risk all his whole battalion to go and save one guy, but it's his duty, and it's what he's been called to do, and he got to do it. And even though he might not feel like doing it, he's got to do it.
Yeah.
And it's his job to be strong and to lead his guys, and not fall into. He could easily fall into when the other guys try to revolt and say, "Hey, man, we shouldn't go.
Yes.
Let's bounce."
Yes.
And he has to say, "No, this is what we were commanded to do. We got to finish the mission."
We were taught.
Yeah. So I always think of like as a leader, like there needs to be some grace, of course, because you just don't know what the pastor's going through, and he's the first one that he's not going to be the guy that goes up there and cries at the pulpit, because that's not what he's called to do. He's called to lead.
Oh, see, the church needs to learn to honor the gift God has blessed the church.
Yeah.
They're the pastor is a gift to them.
Who do you go to?
So what I've done, and I've learned, I have 4 mentors over me. So I have a pastor. I call him my pastor. Pastor Sergio de la Mora. He's a major tool in my life. And I have Tim Story. He's a friend of mine.
You got all big time pastors or what, bro?
Somehow they just came in my.
You know what I mean?
Be friends, man.
Who else, bro?
Yeah. No, they're it's funny how I met them. These guys it wasn't even like that, we clicked. Hey, I got another pastor friend of mine that just spoke today. Yesterday, excuse me, spoke the word, and Pastor Sergio. Pastor Molina, George Molina. He just started becoming around my life for 4 years, but I really consider him like a friend.
Yeah.
So I have them, and then I have another pastor. So they're around me when I go through some hard moments.
Yeah.
Or just to talk.
Yeah. Maybe they went through something that you're going through right now.
And right now it's like I always gotta have people that are like larger than me, bigger than me. Like I say, that's been around for a while.
I agree.
Yeah, because that's how they're going to expand my mind and help me. They've gone through some mistakes, if not major mistakes. But, you know, I can see that their grace is bigger.
Right.
You know.
It's important, too, though,
mercy
right?
is larger. Yeah. Their love is deeper. You know, they've been forgiven much. You know, they've gone through some moments where they've lost. They've won. You know, and I want to be around. And so that's who I surround myself with, so I can learn, you know, what not to do, what to do, what's next. You know, have you ever seen this, pastor? Have you ever gone through something like this? Yeah, you know, this is what you got to do. All right, Jesse, this is what Jesse, I want you to read this book. You know, it's just like, Jesse, I was thinking about you today. How you doing?
That's good.
Those kind of stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that's amazing.
It's important.
Me and my wife, we talk about that all the time. You know, we're going on this year, we'll be 32 years married, and we always say that we still have people that we go to. If we go through a little bad run of just like, what's going on here? We're just not getting along.
Yeah.
And we meet with somebody, and they're married 40 years or 45 years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, and we got to get recalibrated a little bit.
Right.
And so I think that's important. I think a lot of people think you get to a certain status of pastor or marriage or
They arrive.
business. Yeah, you arrive, right? But we never arrive.
No, you know, we never arrive. We're growing from, like the Bible says, glory to glory.
Right.
We're always building and ready for the next. What's the next, man? You know,
Yeah.
okay, I'm done with that, but what's coming up next? And you know, people see us from the outside and they think we arrived, but we haven't arrived.
You don't have the navigator?
And I don't know navigator. I never
just
got the navigator.
Get the navigator when you arrive.
I navigate, Holy Ghost navigator. I never got that navigator I wanted.
Man, bro.
I did end up getting the GMC Envoy without.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, no, we're pretty close, but yeah, it wasn't a Ford. You're a
There you
Ford
go.
or a Chevy guy?
Nah, I'm a Toyota guy.
You're a Toyota guy?
Yeah.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
I'm more like whatever drives for me. You know?
Yeah.
Like
So whatever lasts for
I
me.
used to have this Cadillac, black Cadillac DeVille, 2002 Cadillac DeVille, black on black.
There you go.
Oh, it was cool, man. But every time I was driving it, like, there goes the pastor, you know.
Yeah.
It was this big old long car, you know. And
I used to have the 83 Regal.
okay.
That was you talked about Lucky's earlier?
Yeah.
Got stolen from Lucky's. And
What?
yeah, man.
Well, those cars were easy to steal.
Very easy to steal.
Yeah,
I was dumb.
you know.
I
That
missed
was
car.
easy to steal.
That was a fun car to drive.
Oh, yeah. You know, church business should never be dirty business, man.
Yeah.
But, you know, God's a good God. He always sees us through. Pastors, he sees pastors through. They can make, even with certain circumstances that happen, God builds back up.
Yeah.
You know, but we always have to keep our heart straight and right.
Right.
Clean. Lord, create in me a clean heart, Lord. Renew the right spirit within me, the right character within me, let me have the right heart. So I don't pollute my congregation.
Yeah.
So I don't preach the wrong messages.
It's a lot of responsibility.
A lot, you know.
right?
Yeah, as we're talking, you know, this is what it is, you know. So let's go back to that first question. You say, yeah, I said, what made you want to be a pastor? I didn't want to be one. Look at all this. You know what I mean?
Wait,
Who wants to wake up and say, hey, I want to pastor a church?
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, I make money. There ain't no money in this.
You gotta be dumb. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. If
You
you're not
really raise
called,
your hand,
if
yeah, if you're not called,
yeah, don't do it.
If you're not called and you raise your hand and you want to
Don't
be a
do
pastor,
it. Don't do it.
It'll ruin you, right?
You got 20 people, you know,
Yeah.
saying, hey, you're good. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Because the way they'll leave you too, man.
Yeah.
You know, that just don't do it.
You got to be called.
You got to be called.
Right.
There has to be a calling in your life.
Because what if you don't get 500 people in your
No.
church? What if you are not able to go full time, or you don't have a building of your own,
Yeah.
right?
That's why a person has to be always
you never know.
accountable to somebody.
Yeah.
Have a pastor with, you know, that oversees them, someone that's mentoring them,
Yeah.
so they don't make those mistakes. Am I called or am I not called? And when they say you're not, you're not. Yeah, you can preach good, but that's not a calling.
Yeah.
That's a gift. You know, you have a gift to preach good.
Pastoring is a whole different ballgame.
That's a whole different calling. You know, that's a fivefold ministries.
Mm-hmm. You got to manage fivefold ministry in your church.
And why are we doing it?
Yeah.
We're doing it because we love people. Why do you love people? Because God put that in my heart. I didn't wake up with that in my heart. God put it in my heart. So what you're seeing is the heart of God. What you see in my life is the heart of God. Me reaching out to people is the heart of God.
Right.
Helping people is the heart of God. Praying for people is the heart of God. Restoration is the heart of God. Giving mercy is the heart of God. Everything that is God is God in me. That's God showing himself through me. An imperfect person that he chose from a gang life. Brought him, called him. Now show the world my love, son. Let's go. Powerful.
Bro, you take on all that, and then you start some men's homes.
Start men's homes. I've had a men's home for
That's a whole nother monster, though,
yeah.
bro.
But you know the key to that is having a good
Leader in that home.
a good leader, but not just a good leader. He's got to be a good home director, like a good home director.
You gotta be on it, right?
Yeah, and I have the best one, man. I've had.
So how many do you have? How many, you got a couple homes?
Yeah, we have 2 men's homes.
How many men do you house there?
20, 21.
And who
in both houses like that.
What type of men go there?
Every type of men. It's like an old friend of mine says it's like the Noah's Ark, man. We got all kinds of types of animals in there, you know. Got them all, you know. 1 leg, 2 legs, 3 legs, 4 legs. They're all in there, you know. Some bark, some don't. Some fly high, some just crawl, you know. There's all todas clases de animales ahí. You know?
That in itself, though, is a whole other monster,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, it is.
Because you're dealing with a lot.
Yes, but I have a heart for that because I came out of one.
Yeah.
So I can see that just there's some churches that just won't reach them kind of people.
Yeah.
Period. And I didn't want to lose that part because we do have, you know, we have cops in our church. We have a cop that goes there. Like we have certain people that are they didn't just come out of gang life. You know, they're different.
Yeah.
But we can't forget that those men.
Right.
What I call men that came like the men that were in the cave of Adullam. Men that were in distraught. Men that were in distress. Men that were in debt. Men that were lonely. Men that were running. And when David came in, when those, you know, in that cave, he got these men to see, hey, you guys are all warriors. When they came out, they became they became David's mighty men. And so I always believe that if I can just continue to do that these men will be mighty. And sure they are. There's men that have came out of that they got their own business. They're doing very well. Their pool business, barbers, you know, and got their own barber shops and stuff like that. And they're gardeners, you know. There's some that we have a women's home. We had one. We got to close it down, not because we chose to. It's just that the place we were renting out we had to move to different. There was changes going on there, and bad. It's just there was changes, and to find a good home, you know, I mean, for women, you know, it's expensive now these days because we don't charge them, you know.
Oh, you don't charge them?
No, we don't charge them.
Wow.
We're not doing all that, and that's just the way I had it from the beginning, you know. If they can give, it'd be great, you know.
So if I come to your men's home, I have to fill out an application or something like that.
Yes.
You say, okay, we got a bed for you.
Yes.
And what does that look like if I'm going to your home?
So you come into the home.
Let's say I'm not on drugs. I just down and out, maybe no direction, sinner. Come to your home and what does a day in the home look like?
You come in, you know. Once you come in, you know, you talk to the home director or the home director leaders there. We get you in, get your toothpaste, all that good stuff. You know, get your little bag, and they introduce them to all the brothers at first. You pray them in. It's called you pray them in. Get prayed in. You know, we lead you to the Lord. Everyone that goes there, make sure that the Lord's in their life. And then we're like, okay, man, let's start the day. Here's brother so-and-so. And then we teach them about the kitchen, the boundaries, the backyard, all that, you know. And so early in the morning, let's go. Morning time. We got Bible study early in the morning. Prayer time, Bible study. Then we have cruise. So then you'll be like, right, if you're fresh in there, you won't go anywhere. You're going to be there for 30 days. you go to church and we go places. But what I'm saying is, you're not gonna be able to participate in going out and they have jobs. Like that's how they go and get jobs, side jobs. Certain kind of work that we do, or we go out funding. There's a crew, we call them the candy crew, and they go out and they sell candy. It's just they call it candy. Chocolates,
bro. How do you guys keep them?
No,
melting, bro.
Nah, not well. We can't sell chocolates now, brother. So we surely different.
in the winter.
But in the wintertime we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they go out and sell chocolate, and that's their time where they go out, and I love it because they go out and they have to talk to people.
Right.
A lot of these guys don't want to talk to nobody. It's like, no, you got to break that pride.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's gonna help you, and it's helped so many of them. They don't even know. I'm like, what? It's like, yeah, just go out, send them by twos with the crew guys, and they go out and do it. But once they're done, they go back, pray it in, have dinner, never without, always got food, because we're helping so many food banks all the time. Tuesday mornings, we go and help the Catholic Church, give out food. It's a big church. You would think that they would have volunteers, but they don't. And that place is packed every Sunday. Well, who's the one that's giving out the food? We are. The men's home.
Yeah.
They call Pastor Jesse. Hey, and I call Brother Victor, my own director. Hey, they got so much people out there at the Catholic Church. Just go. So every Tuesday we go and help give out food. Nice. The ones that are out there helping the old ladies, man. Where are all the Catholic men at? Come on, somebody. Let's go, guys. Let's go. We talk big, but you got to be there, So, yeah. But we help out. They bless us with food. Then we go up to the high desert, and we help out another food organization.
So you have a regiment?
Yeah, a regiment. Every week, yeah, we're going out, and they give us food, and there is where they learn to preach. Then we put them down. They're preaching to like maybe 100 homeless people that show up for food, and the guys out there and they give Bible study. Here you go, man. This is where you're gonna learn how to give the word. How you're gonna pray for the sick. See God just moving people's lives. Wow. So this is where we train them, because we don't got a college.
Yeah.
So we train them straight out, hands-on training.
What does a success story look like for you, a guy that comes into the home?
One that keeps his word when he says, I'm going to be here for this long, 6 months, 9 months. This guy's been there for 7 years, and they come out, and then they finally their family. But one that graduates to home, and continues to come to church. And if they're family, if they're a husband and bring their family, see God restored, and is continually just being involved in the things of God, and then they're advancing, because we're always helping those that do come out of the home, make sure that they're okay.
Nice.
Yeah, and it just becomes a success. Like I said, they come out and they start having their own businesses or their own work. They start working. Most of these guys, though, at times, they start seeing that paycheck and they forget.
Yeah.
Yeah, right away. Like, oh, yeah,
sure.
Yeah. I'm working, Pastor. I'm going to make it to church tonight. Hey, bro, let's start with all that. That's what got you in trouble the first time.
Yeah.
Okay? All right. Come on. It's not that important. Let's go. Church.
Yeah.
Okay? Man should not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. You need church. You need the word to come forth, speak to you.
Fellowship.
Yeah. Okay, Pastor B. But I'm always on those guys,
Yeah.
Because they're gifts to God. They're gifts, man, from God.
Yeah.
I want to make sure they do right. There's some that we do lose. There's some that do OD. Yeah. There's some that do die. There's some that don't make it. There's some that just don't get their families back together.
How do you not forget where you came from? Because it seems like talking to you for this last hour and a half, it seems that that's your driving thing. Yeah. But when you're saved 30 years, 35 years, whatever it may be, how do you still get that passion?
That's a good question, Dave. That's a good question right there. How do I still stay passionate? How do I still stay on fire? How do I still keep this life going in me? So I just I refuse. I just refuse to go back to where I came from. I just always think about that. Where did I come from? I came from poverty. I came from nothing. And something inside me, when I think like sometimes I'm saying, you ain't going back to it.
Mm.
And you're gonna help others come out of it also. You're gonna help other young men, show them hope that they can come out of it also. Come on, Jesse, get up. Let's go. Come on, Jesse, you can do this. Come on, Jesse. You got favor. So I just go back to thinking, I always think, I do think about where I came from, but not just the hood, but my house. Like,
Yeah.
I came from the core of that. Like, that's where I came from. I ain't going back to that. And so, like, what the things that I do have, I'm grateful. I was telling my wife, man, I'm just grateful.
Yeah.
Grateful for having grandbabies. Grateful for my son being a youth minister and now going for his licensing, and his wife also, and they're in the worship team. My son's the youth minister and young adults. And I'm grateful for my daughter running the worship team, her learning keyboard in COVID time where things were just hard, and then it came on her, man. The gift just came up on her. No musicians in my family.
Wow.
She just started playing. She's great. She's awesome. And she's a beautiful young lady, man. So I just grateful for that. I'm grateful for a family that's brought up in the things of God. I like to say, pastors' kids are a mess. Nah, they're not mine. They're not perfect. No, they're far from it, man. But I refuse to talk like that.
Yeah.
Nah, it's not true. Come to my house. I want you to meet my son. I want you to meet my daughter. I want you to meet my grandkids. How'd you do that, man? Just keep it real. It's genuine. Just love God. Remember where I come from. I love God, and I thank you, God, for forgiving me. Thank you for the forgiveness of my sins. And I always think back where I came from. I just go back mentally. Get up in the morning, I look in the mirror at times, and I see myself, man, wow, can't believe that I'm here, that I'm doing this. Never thought I would come this far. And there's so much more to do, so I haven't arrived. I don't want to think that way. I arrived to one point, but now it's another point to go to.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
I'm on fire, man. I love what
stuff.
I do. Then at the same time, I don't love what I do. You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
It's like the Apostle Paul says, the things, that I want to do, I don't do. And then the things I do, I don't want to do. That's the way I feel, too.
I mean, hey, yeah. I mean, that's real.
Yeah.
Let's keep it in 100.
But when it comes down to it, it's like, well, this is who I am.
Yeah.
This is my calling. It's my life.
There's been plenty of times in ministry where I've been like, what the heck did I sign up for?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're like, but this is what we signed up for.
Yeah, that's what I do.
But,
And when I turn back, it's like, well, look, my family is good.
Yeah.
The whole thing about it is if a healthy family, healthy marriage, a healthy church.
Yeah.
And not that you're not going to have a perfect church, but it's going to be healthy. If something happens, you can bring it back to health again because you're healthy.
Right. I think you hit it on the head. Healthy marriage, healthy family, healthy church, in that order.
Yeah,
right.
In that order.
Because you need the home. That
has to be.
It has to be number one.
It has to be.
And it's a telltale sign of who you are, really. You know what I mean? So
it is.
Yeah. Right.
It is. I tell the church, if y'all want to know what's going on in your home, I'll just hear your kids. Mm-hmm. I'll ask your little daughter, how's daddy? Dang, oh, here you go.
Kids be talking crazy. Yeah,
they'll
give
say
you
everything. Up. They'll give you up. They're not even. They don't even know they're giving you up, but they'll give you up.
Yeah.
So I'll just ask your kids, and then I'll look at your wife.
Yeah.
And I just see that face. That'll tell me a lot, brother.
Right.
Yeah, that'll tell me a lot.
I agree.
Yeah, that's how. So before I go into discernment and God give me discernment, I'll just look at your kids and your wife. And I'll see real quick. Yeah. Oh yeah, they going through something.
They're struggling right
talk
now.
To you, man,
yeah.
But yeah, it's what a blessing though to see. God never giving up on us, and
Yeah.
especially, like, because it takes a lot. The mentality has to change.
Yeah.
The mindset has to change. And so, this being a pastor is a lot. We got to do one special on pastors, man.
Yeah.
When they go through all, they need to hear things. Someone needs to speak up for them, man.
Yeah, I agree.
No one says nothing.
No, I agree.
Got to confront things.
I agree. There's a lot of things.
And it got to be confronted. And that devil's a liar. He's been trying to destroy the church. He doesn't want a young generation to get saved and see something new. They want the church to blow off somewhere else, and hey, it's not gonna happen, man. As long as the Holy Spirit's around, the church will always prevail. Amen. Not the gates of hell. Amen. But the house of God will always stand. Just keeping the heart right. Amen.
I love that, bro.
That's right.
I appreciate you coming out, man.
Thank you, Dave.
Bringing your wife, stopping by.
Thank you.
It's a lot cooler on this side.
Hey, well, I don't know, man. It was warm, man. It's hot, huh?
It was hot today. It was in the 90s.
Yeah, I wanted you to come down one of these days down to Angel.
I'll go visit
us.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Bring your wife and
do
some fellowship behind the scenes.
Sounds good.
You know what I mean?
Thank
you so much for inviting me to your podcast. I really appreciate it. I mean, I know there's always a lot to say, right?
Yeah.
But this conversation was great, man. Thank you.
Thank you, man. We do one last thing though. We like to have a little bit we like to have a little bit of fun here.
Yeah, let's do it.
We call it the Street Gospel Furious 5. We ask 5 furious questions.
Okay. Ask.
Question number 1. If I go to your hood, where are we gonna go eat, bro? I'm not talking restaurant. I'm talking a hood spot.
Oh, okay.
Where are you taking me, bro?
I'll take you to El Matador. It's a place right there.
It's legit, bro.
Yeah, it's good street tacos. It's as close as they're gonna get to the ones from LA.
Okay.
Because I'm spoiled with that.
Is that where you go?
Yeah.
After church, just head over there.
Yeah. You said my hood, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's
Desert
Hot Springs.
You're in.
So if Desert Hot Springs, if you're in Desert Hot Springs, we'll go to that place.
Go to that place. But what about by your church?
And then the one by my church,
Indio.
Well, in Indio, I would have to go to a Mexicali Cafe #2. Shout out to Mexicali Cafe too, man. God bless you guys. That's the spot right there.
I like pastors because they always know the spots to go to. They're always taking the guest speaker somewhere.
Yeah, not Denny's, right? It's always Denny's. The old school pastors. Let's go to Coco's.
Back in your 20s, bro.
Yeah, 20 there was the Coco's, Denny's, Marie Callender's.
Don't order from this side of the menu.
Yeah. There's a special today, Pastor. I'm like, okay.
Question number 2 on the Street Gospel Furious 5. If you came with a warning label, what would it say?
I came with a warning label.
Yes.
What would it say? Watch your back.
Watch your back. Why would it be that?
Be careful, man. That's just a warning, bro. Watch your back. Someone's watching.
Somebody's always watching.
Someone's watching the back.
Pastor Jesse's always watching.
Someone's watching. Watch your back.
Question number 3. When it's all said and done, what do you want to be known for?
I thought about this. I want to. Man love God. Man that loved God, loved his family, and loved his church.
Amen. Good stuff. That's it.
He loved God, loved his family, and loved the church.
Amen.
He loved.
Question number 4. Street Gospel Furious 5. If you can go back to young 22-year-old Pastor Jesse and tell him something, 5-minute conversation, what would you tell him?
Jesse, find yourself some good mentors that care for you spiritually, your physical life, your body, sense of diet and all that, and your finances.
Good stuff. Last question. Question number 5. One skill, talent, or hobby that the world doesn't know about Pastor Jesse.
Skill, hobby. Now that I put
Or a
down my
talent.
weight, a talent.
Something you could do that nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Maybe your wife knows. But you don't really share it. You don't post about it. But you just, I mean, are you knitting at the house or something? Do you like, I don't know, something. Maybe you pop lock in the morning or something.
No, that's good because you're talking about like a skill, and I don't want, I'm always, I would say that I do push-ups and pull-ups a lot.
Oh, you that guy.
Yeah. Well, I've stopped. I don't say because I do it, but I did stop for a couple months because of the holidays. But I actually starting today. It was this morning. I was back at it.
Oh, because you were coming to the podcast.
And nobody
you wanted
knows.
to look a little swole, bro.
And no one knows that I do that.
Oh, so maybe I pulled your covers. Now everybody's gonna call you out, Pastor.
Yeah.
Do your
just give me a couple
push-ups,
months. I'm on
pull-ups.
Yeah, I'll do 100 straight. Just give me.
Oh, let's go.
Just give me
100 straight push-ups.
You look fit, man. So I can
100
see.
straight push-ups.
Yeah, that's what I would do. Yeah.
I don't know if I don't know if I can get 100.
Yeah, I get. I was. Yeah.
Man.
Just give me a little bit. Yeah, I love that. I love push-ups, pull-ups, kind of like
So you like to stay fit.
the dips. Yes, I would. Yeah.
So and then it's old school.
Yeah.
The best workout, right?
Kind of calisthenics.
Easy.
Yes.
Most effective.
Easy on the joints.
Push up.
Push-ups.
Pull-ups.
Hit the bag here and there.
Dips.
I got a bag, yeah. Dips. Sit-ups.
Air squats.
Yeah.
Body squat.
I gotta be careful with my knees.
Oh yeah, my knees.
Because I was a runner. I ran a lot.
I like to
school.
run too.
Yeah.
When I was younger.
Did you?
This knee's done.
I used to want to be on a. There's one thing if you want to know. I used to want to be an Olympic. From the Olympics running. I wanted to be a gold medalist for the Olympics. Running. I was good at running, man. I have trophies and stuff like that.
I caught a guy at work the other day. I told him.
Dude.
I said, what race do you like the least? He said the white race. I said, bro, I was talking about the 50-yard dash.
Oh man, brother!
I was like,
I was gonna say, don't ask me that one.
I was like, wait a minute, you're a racist,
Man,
bro. Like I'm calling
the white race.
I'm calling HR.
Brother,
I was like, bro,
I'm calling your boss.
I'm calling your boss.
Oh man.
Hey, Pastor Jesse,
Wow.
I appreciate you coming out, bro. Good times, man.
Hey, thank you.
Hey, brother, where can everybody find you, your church, your ministry? Let them know.
Yeah, our church is called Living Word in the Desert. We're located in Indio on Miles Avenue. You can find us on www.livingworditd.com, and just go and find us on Instagram, Living Word in the Desert. You can find us on Facebook, Living Word in the Desert. We have a church also in campus, Desert Hot Springs, and so we have services on Sundays at 10:30 in the morning, and Tuesdays at 7 in Indio. The campus is at Sundays at 10:30. You can also find me. I'm on Instagram, the real Jesse Sanchez. Facebook, Jesse Sanchez about it. TikTok, I have one, but I don't mess around with it too much. But I'm on that too,
All right.
And you type me up, you'll find stuff about me here and there. Hopefully it's good.
Amen, bro. Yeah, if you're in the Coachella Valley, man, go check out the church.
Just go.
The AC always works.
Yeah, AC works. It's
gotta go.
It's gotta go.
And they serve you some food after.
Yes, Indio. It's Indio. It's in Indio. Living Word in the Desert. And not associated with any other living words in case other people think, because there's so many churches. It's just us and our Foursquare family. And hey, if you come down, just let us know you're new, and we'll give you a hot chocolate and a cookie.
Amen, man. Yo,
hey, thank you so much, brother.
You got it, brother. I appreciate you, man. Yo, that'll conclude this episode of the Street Gospel Podcast.
Let's go, man.
Pastor Jesse Sanchez. Go check him out. Go visit his church. We love you guys. We out. Peace.
Man.
May I speak unto you, ye remnant of the house of Israel, and these are the words which I speak.